adjust this just to see my questions. Oh, my bow tie has become unhinged. Bear with me. Hi, Faye. I'll just sort out my bow tie. Good evening. Hi, Mike. How's everyone doing? Oh. Hi, Simon. Just sorting out my bow tie, bear with me. Fell off just as I started. Oh, forgot the hat was there. Oh dear, too much Baileys, eh? Tut tut. I'm alright, it's been an emotional year. Well, doing as well as we can. Doing as well as I can. Under all the circumstances. Still doing this nonsense. So yeah, tonight I'm going to ambitiously attempt a few costume changes. So I'm going to try and do Cat in the Hat, the Onceler and the Grinch. You'll actually see me having to put on my Grinch makeup on the stream. So I'm going to have to take this off to do Onceler and then put on new stuff. Well, I hope you're alright, Faye. I've released some videos. I released a sequel to If Santa Was Scottish, so if you haven't seen that, go check that out. But I was Santa Claus today, without the swearing, for the sake of the little ones. That was good fun. I've got one more weekend of that. Been doing that every weekend in December. So I've got next weekend, which includes Christmas Eve. I'm hoping to be quite ambitious with my costumes next week as well for the Christmas movies quiz. That'll be on Christmas Eve, so there's no pressure to join that one, but I would appreciate it. But yeah, tonight, as you can probably tell, it's going to be Dr. Seuss. Oh, I'm glad. I'm so sorry it took so long, Mike. I'm so sorry. My executive dysfunction just prevented me from actually getting my act together and going to the post office for a long time. If you haven't watched the stream in a while, we've switched from doing physical. I'm just gonna raise you guys up a little bit. Actually, sorry, just so I don't bend my neck down. We've switched from doing physical gifts to digital art gifts. So now, if you join, if you win the quiz, you get a little art piece drawn of you in the franchise that you win. So you'll get drawn into a Dr. Seuss story if you win tonight. So yeah, last week Chris won the Die Hard one. So I drew a running joke between him and I, Barbara Blacksheep. So I drew Barbara Blacksheep jumping off Nakatomi Plaza. So yeah, that's been fun. So still a prize to win for these quizzes, but it will be digital art rather than physical gifts. Much more cost effective for me, and it allows me to get them done within a week and not let them build up to the point where they're like I had a massive build up of physical gifts. Die Hard is a Christmas movie, I agree. Hence why it was the first of our festive themes last week. Yeah, we did Umbrella Academy and then we kicked off the festive themes. Yeah, so, and if you're thinking what's festive about this costume, well, you'll see the festive one later. That'll be the last costume tonight. So I'm now doing the streams on my own. For the foreseeable future, I will try and get some like guest hosts, probably after the new year. but I'm going to try and still be quite ambitious with the costumes. Where I can, I might do multiple costumes. There will be some weeks where I can't. So like Umbrella Academy, I just did the one costume just to make it easier on myself. But there are ones where I'd like to... Oh god, good luck with that. No pressure to join if you're if you need to go and focus on that. Because that shit's important. I hope you are making as much of a recovery as you can. That sounds pretty miserable, but if you want to keep me on as a distraction, then happy to be there. But completely up to you. But I wish you all the health and luck with that journey. And keep us updated. Right, I will wait a few minutes. I'll probably wait about 10 minutes, just until folk arrive, and then we'll get kicked off. So I'll just do the breakdown. So I've got 10 questions on Cat in the Hat, 10 questions on Zeusical, which I have not seen, by the way. Just to clarify, it was my colleague who reminded me of Zeusical's existence, so I wrote some questions on that. So 10 questions Cat in the Hat, 10 questions on Zeusical. Then I'm going to costume change and do Lorax and Horton Hears a Who, and then we'll finish off with the Grinch. Yeah, so I'm going to try and look at the different adaptations of these stories as well as the original books. As notorious as some of the adaptations might be, there's some funny stuff to talk about. So I just did a version of the live-action Cat in the Hat. Anything. So if you haven't seen that, like, I literally just posted it now, to get us in the mood for tonight. I might make some more Dr. Seuss content after the stream with the Onceler and the Grinch. Next week, I'm going to not only be performing as Santa, Toby Carvery, but I'm also going to take the Grinch costume and do a reading of the Grinch in costume. I'm going to have to practice my Grinch impression. That's going to be interesting. But yeah, if you're in Edinburgh and you want to bring kids along to meet Santa, I'm going to be at Toby Carvery for one more weekend. So yeah. I've also got to do it. I need to remember to repack the Santa stuff tonight because I'm doing Santa again at work, at the work Christmas party tomorrow, because I work at a soft play, so we've done one, need to do the other one. Thank you. Thank you, I'm glad. This was very last minute. I literally just ordered the hat like a few days ago, and then the rest of it I just cobbled together with stuff I had. So, yes, the great thing about having done this for about a year is you just accrue random stuff like cat ears and wigs and all that stuff. So that was what made the Doctor Who one so fun, is we actually had a lot of the stuff. I was like, I don't have a blonde curly wig, and then I remembered I actually do from my Grease cosplay when I did Doctor Who one so fun, is we actually had a lot of the stuff. I was like, I don't have a blonde curly wig, and then I remembered I actually do from my Grease cosplay when I did the cosplay ranking challenge with Doctor Who. I'd like to maybe release the first one, maybe on Christmas Day. So I would need to film that before Christmas Day and edit it. Oh, Jesus Christ, you guys are ambitious. Thank you for the likes. We've not even bloody started, but thank you. But yeah, so that's going to be... That'll be fun. So, I'm still, if anyone's unfamiliar, I've not been in my home for the last year. So, a lot of my costumes are in storage and stuff like that. So I was going to make it... It's going to make it much easier to do that ranking challenge once I'm in my flat, but I at least want to kick it off to celebrate Shitty Gatwa's sort of proper debut as the Doctor. So I'll do costumes leading up to him. Obviously I won't be ranking him because we've not seen all of his run yet. We've not even seen much of it. But there's also another reason why I maybe can't cosplay him. But I could maybe get on a guest cosplay. Like when it comes to 13th Doctor, I'd love to get Lynn on. Oh, has the chat gone bye-bye? Hi, Michelle. Is the chat visible? Yeah, everything good? Right. Oh, righty-ho. I'll wait a few more minutes and then we'll kick off. Everyone's run away. This hat's very flippy. I've had to stuff it with wrapping paper just to make it more erect. Words I shouldn't say on TikTok Live. Right, I'm going to kick off if that's alright, because I'm already hungry and I have not eaten and I can't eat until I'm done with this stream. So, it's going to be a late dinner. Okay, we're going to start off with 10 questions about Cat in the Hat. Right, we're just going to mute that. Thank you. Right. In what year... Oh, sorry, if you've never done a quiz before with us, I think a lot of you have. But leave your answers in the chat. Keep track of your own points. No Googling. Don't be a dick. All that good stuff. Try and stay on topic. And don't spam the chat. And if you win, you will get a little art piece commemorating your win. And we can discuss that if you reach out on Instagram. So keep track of your points. So anyway, in what year was the original Cat in the Hat story published? So we'll start with one of these ones where it's literally just a game of higher or lower. So in what year was the original Cat in the Hat story published? It would help if my computer, which has all my questions on it, didn't keep going off. So leave your answers in the chat. In what year? If you don't know, take a punt. And I'll say higher or lower. So in what year was the original Cat in the Hat story published? Question 2. The narrator, originally unnamed in the story, has a sister. What is her name? So the narrator's sister is called what in the story? Leave your answers in the chat, folks. Question 3. Nice easy one. What are the names of the Cat in the Hat's 2 chaotic assistants? What are the names of the Cat in the Hat's chaotic assistants? Try and get some answers in the chat, guys. Otherwise, it's going to be me talking to myself. And you. So, the question was, what are the names of the Cat in the Hat's chaotic assistants? So he's got 2 chaotic assistants. What are their names? Nice, easy one. Hi, Chris. Question 4. Which character in the story greatly disapproves of the chaotic shenanigans happening in the story? So we're talking about Cat in the Hat, if you're unfamiliar. So this is a Dr. SEUSS quiz. We're starting our first round. So the questions so far are: what year was the original story published? What is the narrator's sister called in the story? What are the two names of the Cat in the Hat's chaotic assistants? Oh, good. It's one of those nights, is it? Lots of muting needed. Oh, Chris, you're a moderator, by the way, now. So you have the power to mute folk. But get some answers in the chat, guys. And which character greatly disapproves of the chaotic shenanigans of the story? Oh my fucking god. What is going on tonight with this chat? But yeah, please get some answers. I'm gonna have to keep this glove off so I can... yeah, Michelle and Chris, can you guys... this chat is being a bit of a nightmare right now, so please, guys, get some answers in the chat. I don't want to just get harassment tonight, okay? I want to get some engagement and some answers. Just take guesses. I can't see any of I can't see any of the answers in the chat so far. So please get some answers in the chat. Right. In what year was the cat given a television special? In what year was the Cat in the Hat given a television special? Give a guess at the year, if you can. So, keep that in mind. So not 2000, earlier. Quite a bit earlier. So this was this is the television special rather than the live action movie. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. Earlier than that. Earlier than that. Earlier. Again, this was the animated TV special. Earlier than that. Earlier still. Can we try and get some answers for the other questions as well while you're there? Earlier than 1988. Earlier than 1980. Earlier than 1980. You're getting closer now, still a little bit earlier than 1975. A little bit earlier than 1975. Keep going down. You're in the right decade with the 70s. 1971 is correct. 1971, Poppy. Can you tell me the answer to the What are the names of the Cat in the Hat's two chaotic assistants? That one should be really easy. Yes! Thing 1 and Thing 2. That's what I was looking for. It was that simple. So yeah, Thing 1... So Chris, you get a point. Can anyone tell me what year the original story was published? We'll go back to that question, so you can get that one. Did you? Oh, it didn't come up. Sorry, Chris. Sorry, it didn't come up. Tiny bit... sorry, a little bit later than 1953. So between 1953 and 1965. Between those years. Little bit earlier. 1957. 1957 is correct. Okay. Who plays the Cat in the Hat and the narrator in the television special? So who plays the Cat in the Hat / the narrator in the TV special? Okay, next question. In what year did the notorious live-action film adaptation release? So in what year did the notorious live-action film adaptation release? Alan Sherman! Well done, Poppy! Well done. Is correct. Hi, Letitia. 2003. Correct. 2003. Who plays the Cat in the Hat in the notorious live-action movie? Which actor plays the Cat in the Hat in the live-action movie adaptation? Oh my god, I should have thought of that. That would have been a ball ache to write, though. You severely overestimate how much effort I'm willing to put into this. Mike Myers is correct. Mike Myers. Horrifying movie. Question 9. If you know anything about me, you might be able to get this, because this actor comes up a lot. Which voice actor, supplying the voice for Nevins the dog in the Cat in the Hat film, also provided the voice of Max in How the Grinch Stole Christmas? So, which voice actor, supplying the voice of Nevins the dog in this film, also provided the voice of Max in How the Grinch Stole Christmas? This voice actor comes up a lot because he plays two very famous characters that I'm very attached to. Yes, you do, Chris. I assume you're making a joke there. So this voice actor comes up a lot in these quizzes because of his connection to a certain franchise, which I may be very attached to. Question 10. What is the name of the sequel book released in 1958? Hi, Declan. What is the name of the sequel book released in 1958? I'm disappointed, Chris. It's a good bit of trivia to know. Especially, keep it in mind, because if we ever hit 100 streams, the idea is to ask you 100 questions about me, and that's definitely coming up. Who's my favourite voice actor? I think the Cat in the Cap, is that not the Soviet version or something? I was reading... Let's mute that. Okay. I'll go through the questions, and then we will almost fell off my chair there. Sorry. Just muting some assholes. Right. Yes, the Cat in the Hat comes back. Well done. Okay, what year was the original story published? That was 1957. What is the narrator's sister called? That is Sally. What are the names of the chaotic assistants? That's Thing 1 and Thing 2. Which character greatly disapproves of the chaotic shenanigans happening in the story? That is the Goldfish. In what year was the cat given a television special? 1971. Who plays the cat/narrator in the special? That is Alan Sherman. In what year did the notorious live-action film release? That is 2003. Who plays the Cat in the Hat in the notorious live-action movie? That is Mike Myers. Which voice actor, supplying the voice of Nevins the dog in this film, also provided the voice of Max in How the Grinch Stole Christmas? That is Frank Welker. And if you're wondering why he's my favourite voice actor, it's because he's been playing Fred from Scooby-Doo since 1969, and he also plays Scooby and has been doing for the most of my lifespan. So yeah. Frank Welker. He comes up a lot, because he does a lot of animal voices. And question 10, what is the name of the sequel book released in 1958? That is The Cat in the Hat Comes Back. Excellent, right. Well done, Poppy and Chris. We've got some good answers. Right, we're going to move on to talking about Zeusical. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know much about Zeusical, but we're going to do it because my colleague reminded me it existed. So, any Zeusical fans here? Question 1. Who wrote the music and lyrics, respectively, for Zeusical? Who wrote the music and the lyrics? I'll move on because that one's quite a tricky question if you don't know. It's not Elton John. That's actually not a bad guess though. Now I wouldn't say they're household names in the same way Elton John is. Elton John did do Billy Elliot and things, so it was a good guess. That would be fun. Oh my god, yes, Poppy, well done. Stephen Flaherty, well done. Can you get who? So I'll give you a point for Stephen Flaherty. I'll give you another point if you can get the The person who did the lyrics. Well done. Right, question 2. What year did Seussical make its brief Broadway debut? So in what year did Seussical make its Broadway debut? Sorry, if you're hearing buzzing, it's because my mother is messaging me. I will message back once I'm done with this. A little bit earlier. Tiny bit later, Poppy. Tiny bit later. A little bit earlier, Chris. $2000. Well done, Chris. Well done, Poppy. Both get a point. It is now a staple for what kind of productions? What kind of level of productions often put on productions of Seussical? Or what kind of groups put on productions of Seussical? It didn't have a long stint in Broadway. Question 4. So just so you know, these live streams are now just a solo thing. So William won't be joining anymore. Improv. That would be quite. That would. Can you imagine trying to do improv in Dr. Seuss rhyme? That would be quite impressive. Yeah, it's just me for the foreseeable future, but I will be keeping up the momentum and the ambition. So, which three stories of Dr. Seuss make up the majority of Seussical's plot? So, which three stories make up the majority of the Seussical plot? Actually, Cat in the Hat isn't. He is involved in it. Yeah, apparently not the Grinch. Like, again, the Grinch is in it. Cat in the Hat's in it, but their stories aren't what makes up the bulk of the plot. Horton Hears a Who is one of them. Horton Hears a Who is the major one, in fact. So you get 1 point for Horton Hears a Who. Again, Lorac's not one of the... It's another two that are much less well known. One of them is connected to Horton, and the other one I hadn't heard of. But she does play a predominant role in this show. Question 5. The boy at the beginning of the story is pushed into the narrative and becomes which character in the story? So, the boy at the beginning of the story, or the beginning of the show, I have no idea what you're on about. I'm okay. I'm alright. he does not become... He does speak to the Cat in the Hat. In fact, I think the Cat in the Hat is the one who sort of pushes him into the narrative. But no, that's not the character he becomes. It is a I'll give you a clue. It is a character. It's one of the characters from Horton Hears a Who, if that helps. So question 6, which character is the judge at Horton's criminal trial? Which is wild to think that's a plot point. Thank you, Declan, I really appreciate that. It's not Horton himself. So which character is the judge at Horton's criminal trial in the show? Question 7. Which actress, famous for her role as Peter Pan on the stage, played the Cat in the Hat on the US tour? It's not the Lorax dude. That's was she? Do you mean the Onceler? In which case, not quite. That would be a good. That would have been logical. So, which actress, famous for her role as Peter Pan on the stage? Kathy Rigby. Yes, well done, puppy. Question 8. Which character? Which character falls in love with Horton the Elephant in the story? In the story of Zeusical. That would be a very different Peter Pan. So which character falls in love with Horton the Elephant in the story? Question 9. How long did Zeusical last on Broadway? How long did Zeusical last on Broadway? Honestly, you're probably... Yeah, a year. I mean, it lasts... I don't actually know the actual specifics, but it lasted between 2000 and 2001. So we'll call it a year. But however many months it actually was on stage for, I actually couldn't find out. So, but yeah, I'll give the point for a year. Question 10. What is the curtain call song called? And it's a reference to, and it is the name of one of the stories of Dr. Seuss. So what is the curtain call song called? That'll be a very short Broadway run, can you imagine? Although it might be longer than the Spider-Man show that they tried to make. That was a fucking disaster. So what is the curtain call song called? Now, it is a reference to... Okay, Declan. It is a... Green Eggs and Ham. Green Eggs and Ham is correct. Right. Okay, I need to now do one of my costume changes, which means getting this makeup off me. Is this going to work, or is this going to put me in blackface? It is going to put... kind of working. I'm trying to do it on camera, so I don't have to leave. So I'm going to change costume, hopefully without getting too naked. Should just change jacket, some wigs and things. Honestly, it's the Grinch one. Honestly, I feel like it should be green eggs and ham, although that might kill me, but moldy. Right, okay. But yeah, it's the Grinch makeup that's going to, like, this is just taking off makeup. I am not looking forward to having to put the Grinch makeup on camera, but because I'm the only one doing the streams, and my dumbass decided to do costume changes. Right. Anyway, right, that's that. Can take off these gloves. So I'm going to move on. So don't worry, I'm not getting entirely naked. Just taking that off. Change the bow tie out for a tie. I know, but that's cheating, in my opinion. Yes, I am. I have been doing this for a fucking year. Don't like it? Fuck off. Honestly, I'm not even doing it for 8 viewers. I'm doing it for myself. I didn't have a green stripy tie. But this will do. I've got green other things. Honestly, this Beatles wig that I got for Big Bang Theory is coming obscenely useful for different cosplays. This is the one I wore for Patrick Troughton when I did Doctor Who. Need to work out which way it goes. Hey. Right. Thank you, Chris. Right. Well, I didn't have a green waistcoat, but what I do have is this jacket, which I'm going to put on and button up. But then I have it. So this is a bit. I'm going a little bit off screen accurate on this one, but I definitely think you'll appreciate the vibes for the Onceler. And finally, oh my god, how snazzy do I look? Am I a Tumblr sexy man yet? It is Grinch McMahon. Right, okay. We are going to be talking about the Lorax, for now I am the Onceler. Okay, we're ready. In what year was the original Lorax story published? In what year was the original Lorax story published? A little bit later. This was a later one. Oh, you're close. A little bit earlier, Poppy. Tiny bit earlier. But you're pretty close. Poppy's closest. Poppy's in the right decade. A little bit earlier. "1971. I am not reading that username. I'm just going to say big fat. Right. Question 2. In what year did the animated film of the Lorax come out? So in what year? BFG. Okay, I'll call you BFG. So yeah, keep track of your points. 2012. 2012 is correct. Well done. Which animation studio produced the film in 2012? So which animation studio produced the film released in 2012? It was not Pixar. Far from Pixar. Almost on the opposite end of quality to Pixar. Not Universal? Right. If you don't want to get muted, none of that. Okay? So which animation studio produced the film released in 2012? Illumination is correct. A notorious studio who brought us such things as Minions. Who plays the Onceler in the film? Who plays this character? So which actor plays the Onceler? It's not Johnny Depp. Not Johnny Depp. Keep guessing. And give you a clue if you like. Yes! Yes, Poppy. I'll give you that. Ed Helms. Well done. Ed Helms. Question 5. Who plays the Lorax in that film? Who plays the Lorax? It is Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito. Who plays the love interest, Audrey? I am a homosexual wizard. All wizards are. That's why there's so few of us. It is Taylor Swift. Question 7. In the original story, what exactly does the boy pay the Onceler to hear his story? So in the original story, what exactly does the boy pay the Onceler to hear the story? And this is very, very specific and strange. There's 3 items, essentially. That's fine, we'll move on. That's a really tricky one. Question 8. What kind of trees does the Onceler cut down to the disapproval of the Lorax? So what is the type of trees, or the fictional type of tree, that the Onceler cuts down at the disapproval of the Lorax? Hi, Arthur. Welcome to our Dr. SEUSS live stream. I'm currently dressed as the Onceler, and we are doing the Lorax round. Question 9. What kind of garment does the Onceler make? What is the garment called that the Onceler makes from this type of tree? How bad can I be? Yes, a thneed. Well done. I'll give you it, Arthur. But yes, a thneed. Question 10. What word is engraved on the pile of rocks once the Lorax leaves? So once the Lorax goes away, possibly forever, what word is engraved on the pile of rocks? Unless. One word, unless. Well done. Well done. Right, we are going to... I don't have a costume for Horton Hears a Who, so I'll just stick with this costume for now. But we'll move on to Horton Hears a Who. I wish I had an elephant costume. That would have been so good. But anyway, I feel like 3 costumes is good enough for a guy doing it all on his own. I think you can hopefully cut me some slack. Yes, Josh, well done, a thneed. Well done. Right. On what kind of object or substance is Whoville located in Horton Hears a Who? In Horton Hears a Who, where is Whoville located? Not on a cloud, not quite. Where in, I guess what I'm asking is where in relation to Horton's world? Whoville is located on a snowflake in The Grinch, but not in Horton Hears a Who. Yes, a little speck of dust. Well done. A speck of dust on a clover. Yeah, it's actually located on the speck of dust. Question 2. In what year was the original story published? So in what year was the original story published? Little bit earlier than 1957, but you're pretty close. Oh, tiny bit later. 1954. 1954. In what year did the television special for Horton Hears a Who release? So in what year did the... A lot of my questions are the same. There's not much to write about these stories, I'll be honest. For as beloved as they are. So yes, in what year did the... Oh, thank you for sharing the live, thank you. Really appreciate that. If you like what we're doing here, we do this every single Sunday. I change the theme every week, and I dress up accordingly. So, we've been doing this about a year. And now I'm just doing it on my own, but I'm still trying to put in all the effort, so I'm doing 3 different costumes tonight. Honestly, out of the movie adaptations, it's possibly one of the better ones. Earlier than 2003 for the television special. Quite a bit earlier. But yes, we do this every single week, 7 PM UK time on a Sunday. If there's ever changes to the time, I'll announce it on the account. So on special occasions. So for the Doctor Who one we did, because it was our 1 year anniversary, and because for the Doctor Who one we dressed as every single Doctor, so we knew we had costume changes, so we did it at 3:30. But usually 7 p.m. I'll be here. So next week is Christmas Eve. There still will be a live stream if you guys want to tune in. If you've not got much to do on Christmas Eve or you're winding down for the night, come join me. I'll be talking about Christmas movies. I'm going to be talking about Home Alone. I'm going to talk about... so obviously I won't talk about The Grinch because we're doing that on this one. But we'll talk about Home Alone. We'll talk about It's a Wonderful Life. We're going to talk about Elf. We're going to talk about Muppets Christmas Carol. That kind of thing. So yeah. Yeah, I'll be around on Christmas Eve. So, where was... Oh, yeah. Question 4. Puppy, in relation to your answer earlier than 1987. Earlier than 1987 for the television special. You're in the right decade now. Go a bit down, a bit earlier. But yes, so if you win these quizzes, you get a little piece of digital art of yourself in the world that you win the quiz for. So this one, you'll get a choice of which Dr. Seuss story you want to be drawn into, and I'll try and draw you into that. Again, it'll be in a very cartoony sort of style. It won't be like amazingly detailed or anything. It's just a little bit of fun. A little bit earlier than 1973. But yeah, last week I drew Chris's Barber Black Sheep character jumping off Nakatomi Plaza. Show you how to tie a tie. Not in this one. There are tons of like amazing, well-dressed gentlemen on TikTok who'll tell you how to do all these different kinds of knots. I only know how to do this, which is like the base. I don't even know what this knot is called. It's just the one I wore at school. I've been wearing ties for like 15 years. I still don't know what the names of the knots, to be honest. I was in Scouts for 11 years. I don't know the names of knots. But look up a bunch of like really stylish guys on TikTok, and they'll tell you all about different knots to show off with. Little bit earlier than 1972. Tiny bit earlier. Keep going down a little bit. 1970. Well done. In what... we're going to do this again. In what year did the Horton Hears a Who film release? In what year did Horton Hears a Who film release? Thank you for the follow, Jason. Thank you. If you like what we're doing, we do this every Sunday. 2008 is correct. Well done. Right. Which actor plays the role of Horton in this adaptation? Who plays Horton in this adaptation? This actor has also done another Dr. Seuss film adaptation character. It is Jim Carrey. Well done. Which animation studio made this film adaptation? So which animation studio made this film adaptation? It's an animation studio that sadly no longer exists. Thanks to Disney shutting it down. They made Ice Age and things like that. This is the closest tie I could find to the costume. It was meant to be a green stripy one, but I didn't have a green stripy one. Blue Sky! Well done, Blue Sky Studios. Question 7. Who plays the mayor of Whoville in this movie? Who plays the mayor of Whoville? Steve Carell, well done. Question... You're really fixated on the tie, huh? No, I was wearing a bow tie earlier, but it was one of those cheaty ones that just clip on. Because I've never learned how to tie a bow tie. Right. What was the first Dr. Seuss story to feature Horton the elephant? So what was the first Dr. Seuss story to feature Horton the elephant? That's alright, I wouldn't have got that either. Oh, this is a really tricky one, but I found it interesting. What, according to Dr. Seuss, was the story an allegory for? It's not the Lorax. It has Horton in the title, but it's not one that's particularly well known. So what real life kind of event or message was the story an allegory for? Because this is a cosplay quiz. We do this every Sunday. So I'm dressed as a character called the Onceler. So every week I'll dress accordingly to the theme. This week I'm trying to be a little bit ambitious and do multiple costumes. So I was the Cat in the Hat earlier, and now I'm the Onceler, and then, dear God, I'm going to do the Grinch soon, which involves you will have to be patient with me while I paint my face green and try and do at least decent, face paint of like the sort of snout and the nose. It won't be brilliant because I'll be sort of rushing. But I'm treating it as a makeup test. Because otherwise I would have had to do the Grinch first, go off, live stream, shower, and come back, and that was just going to be a nightmare. And I'm not showering in front of you guys. I do somewhere, but I think it's in storage somewhere. Because I don't have access to all my bits and bobs right now. Question... Right. Why are you so goddamn fixated on the ties? Can we get back on subject, Jason? Question 10. What oil does the kangaroo threaten to boil the speck of dust and the clover in? What kind of oil does the kangaroo threaten to boil the speck of dust and the clover in? Oh, sorry, I've just realised I didn't go through all the answers. I'll go through the answers in a second. It's not brutally deathly acid. Well, Bezelnut oil. Well done, Bezelnut oil. Right, I'll go through all the answers from Zeusical onwards because I realised I didn't actually do that. Yeah, no, the Onceler does not. Well, he did not treat the trees. Right, Jason, I'm just gonna mute you. I'm sorry. You're doing my head in. Right. So Zeusical, who wrote the music and lyrics for Zeusical? That was Stephen Flaherty and Lynn Ahrens. What year did it make its Broadway debut? That was 2000. It is now a staple for what kind of production? That's schools. Which three stories make up the majority of its plot? Sorry, which three stories make up the majority of its plot? Horton Hears a Who, Gertrude McFuzz, and Horton Hatches an Egg. The boy at the beginning of the story is pushed into the narrative and becomes which character? That is Jojo. Jojo, the son of the mayor of Whoville. Who is the judge at Horton's trial? That is Yertle the Turtle. Which actress, famous for her role as Peter Pan on stage, played the Cat in the Hat on the US tour? That was Kathy Rigby. Who falls in love with Horton in this story? That is Gertrude. How long did Zeusical last on Broadway? That is 1 year. And what is the curtain call song called? That is Green Eggs and Ham. The answers for the Lorax. What year... Oops, Susie. What year was the original story published? It was a bit later on, and that was 1971. In what year did the film come out? That's 2012. Which animation studio produced the film? That is the dreaded Illumination. Who plays the Onceler, the character I'm dressed as, and that is Ed Helms. You might know him from the Hangover movies. Who plays the Lorax in the film? That is Danny DeVito. Who plays the love interest, Audrey, and that is Taylor Swift. In the original story, who does the boy play the... Sorry, what does the once... I'm going to start that entire sentence again. It's less about being offended, it's more just about being annoyed. My live stream, my fucking rules. In the original story, what does the boy pay the Onceler to hear his story? It was more just the fact that he was spamming. Okay. 15 cents, a nail, and the shell of a great-great-grandfather snail. What kind of trees does the Onceler cut down to the disapproval of the Lorax? That is the truffula trees. What garment does the Onceler make? That is Thneed. And what is engraved on the pile of rocks once the Lorax leaves? And that is unless. Okay, I'll go through my Horton Hears a Who questions, the answers to that, and then I'm going to have to do a costume change. On what is Whoville located? That is a speck of dust on a clover. In what year was the original story published? That is 1954. In what year did the television special release? That is 1970. In what year did the film release? That was 2008. Which studio made this film adaptation? That is the no longer with us Blue Sky Studios. Who plays Horton in this adaptation? That is Jim Carrey. Who plays the mayor? That is Steve Carell. What was the first Dr. Seuss story to feature Horton the elephant? That was Horton Hatches an Egg, which I'd never heard of. What was the story an allegory for? In Dr. Seuss's eyes. That is the, basically, post-war Japan. So obviously during the war, a lot of people, including Dr. Seuss himself, had a very, very low opinion of the Japanese people. But then visited and sort of saw that these people are people, and they needed compassion, and they needed to be respected and treated as such and humanized. So I think that's where the idea that a person's a person, that sort of dehumanization or ignoring these people. I assume that was kind of the messaging, because that a lot of the Second World War was about dehumanizing people to make it easier to commit the atrocities that both sides had to commit. And on a less serious note, what oil does the kangaroo threaten to boil the speck in? Bezelnut oil. And now I have to do the dreaded costume change, right? I don't know how this is going to go, I'll be honest. So you guys will have to be patient with me, but I will keep chatting while I do this. Right. First of all, I need to wear my fuzzy leggings. I'll just wear these over the trousers though. I have not tried this costume on, nor have I tried this makeup before, so it could be an absolute disaster plaster. But we're going to try. These leggings are so comfy to wear as pajamas, by the way. Can we just appreciate the leggings? Hehe. So this was the whole idea of doing the Grinch as one of the Dr. Seuss one as one of the festive ones, is to dress up like the Grinch. But then I realised I was doing the stream alone. I was like, oh man, I really want Cat in the Hat and the Onceler as well, so I could have just done the Grinch. Could have just done the Grinch from the start, but I always have to make it more difficult for myself. Right, I will put on the... I'll put on the Santa suit once I've done the makeup, I think, because I still need that Santa suit for tomorrow to be relatively clean. So, gonna get my big brush. Usually I would do this in the bathroom, but again, I'm trying to do it on camera. So please keep me company. Right, let's... Thank you for the follow. So if you're interested, my dumbass does this every single week. Sunday, 7 PM UK time. God, William used to do this, and I used to boggle my mind how he did it so quickly. I'm gonna have to do another pass at this, aren't I? I guess this has turned into a get ready with me video now. Get nice and coated. Try and get a thicker coating going on. Yes, we are Edinburgh based, and technically it's not our van, it's a van we rent, but he is Edinburgh based. Well, some of the time. So we're going to be at... Yeah, I'm hoping the costume is going to cover up most of the neck, to be honest. But I'll do it just to be on the safe side. Right, I'm going to get a hairdryer out. But yes, Edinburgh. So we're going to be at Capital Sci-Fi Con with the Mystery Machine as the Scooby Gang. Yeah! I know. I know I need to do the net one. I'm doing my best. Yeah, no, that was a dream come true doing that photo shoot, and it's what got our... So if you've not seen our viral video, if Scooby-Doo was Scottish, that's the reason that we sort of, like, changed the channel name. So this used to be the Hawkeye of Hawk Hill. It used to be, you know, because I am a Hawkeye cosplayer as well. But then the Scooby-Doo one, Scooby-Doo's always been very close to my heart, so that's why. It's weird that that was the video that took off, when honestly I was way more proud of like the recreation of the intro and a lot of the other videos we did around that time, but it's funny that that's the one that resonated with people. Oh, Scooby-Doo is amazing. Like, we are going to repeat Scooby-Doo as a quiz theme on that weekend because it makes sense, because we'll have the whole gang and the Mystery Machine. So hopefully you might even see the Mystery Machine on the live streams, if we can figure out how to live stream. I think the Mystery Machine had Wi-Fi. Like, it had a router. So we may be able to live stream from the Mystery Machine, which would be kind of insane. Don't know where we'd park it to live stream, but maybe. Because I feel like doing it outside will be freezing fucking cold. Yeah, I mean, there are good iterations now, I'll be honest, but I know exactly what you mean when you say it's not the same. Right. I can't drive, which is annoying. I did lessons when I was 17, did not like it. I have zero sense of direction and a really heavy foot, and I was really angry at the time and stuff like that, so I was not safe to be behind the wheel. And then I moved to Edinburgh, and in Edinburgh you don't really need a car, although I'm now regretting that decision because a lot of the jobs I want are party host jobs, and they require you to have a vehicle, and I do not, and therefore can't get the jobs I want. Yeah, there is that. I know exactly what you mean. They are afraid, and they're undoing a lot of the real spooks. So like, that was why the Return to Zombie Island film was so disappointing. Was basically they undid everything that made that film so impactful. Again, I have no idea what I'm doing with this makeup, by the way. I'm just trying to do a decent... I'm trying to do a decent attempt at some Grinchy makeup, just to put in the effort for you guys, because you guys are all very supportive. And you guys turn up each week, and you keep me company, and it's always noticed. Again, I'm thinking I've got a Grinch read-along. Thank you. Yeah, I've got a Grinch read-along next weekend, and I'm thinking, instead of just painting on this sort of snout shape, I might actually see if I can get a prosthetic. I don't know if one will get delivered in time. Alright. Yeah, we've got one more round to go. It's a lot of effort for one final round. But, I'll put on the whole get up in a second and hopefully it'll look somewhat decent. Thank you for the shares, Jason. I'm sorry for muting you, but you were kind of harping on and distracting us. I can't really face people spamming. I've been dealing with a lot of harassment lately from certain people. So my sort of patience is a little bit thinner than it was. That'll do, right? With the get up, with the rest of the get up on. I put on a little Grinchy beard. So this is going to be the Grinch once I put on the get up. I shall put on the face paint. I'll dry it. Yep. I've got the leggings. I'm gonna put on the whole suit in a second. Yeah, this is a Dr. Zeus live stream. I was ambitious and decided that I was going to do multiple costumes, then I realised I was going to have to do the Grinch makeup on live stream. Either that, or I have to go off live stream to shower this off to do the other costumes later, and I don't really want to do that, so... this is actually part of my Santa suit, so remind me after this is done to put it back in my Santa suitcase, because I need it for tomorrow, because we have the work. Oh, to be fair, banging film, we actually discussed that during October, when we did Tim Burton. Right. I don't actually have a wig for this. It didn't come with a wig, but I'll have the Santa hat on. But no, I think I definitely want to maybe try and get a prosthetic. Ooh, winter costume. Ooh, that'd be cool. Oh, you'll definitely need to send a picture of that on Instagram. Yeah, we have an Instagram, by the way. If you ever want to reach out, that's the place to do it. Oh, definitely send a photo of that. That sounds very cool and very exciting. Did they? I feel like they sent me 2 hands that were the same. Anyway. There we are. I'm going to have to practice a Grinch impression for next weekend. This'll do for the live stream, but this could do with work if it's going to convince kids, couldn't it? Scottish Scooby Gang, same as this channel, Scottish Scooby Gang. Ooh, oh god, are you 3D printing it? That's insane. That's awesome. I would love to play with 3D printers, but I don't have the money. That looks like a really fun hobby. Hee hee. Right, I'm gonna try and sit back a bit, or sit like this so you can appreciate the furry leggings. Because I didn't buy them for nothing. Right, okay. Final round of the Dr. Seuss quiz. Well, it's moments like this where I wonder what the fuck I'm doing with my life, but hey ho, you guys seem into it, so we're gonna keep going. I'm keeping going until we get to 100, so I hope you've appreciated the effort tonight. Thank you all for joining. Oh, brilliant, I'm gonna check that out. I'm definitely gonna check that out, Speed Tech, because that sounds awesome. No, I love seeing people's cosplay processes. Like seeing people, like I bought Iron Man armor, but I bought it unpainted so I could paint it, and it's so fun. Like trying to make it all, paint it up, make it look like metal, all that stuff, adding all the imperfections. I love stuff like that. So I will absolutely check that out after this. That's gonna be fun. Right, anyway, let's talk about the Grinch, because we're coming up to that time of year. Who narrates the 1966 TV movie and subsequently ended up playing the Grinch while narrating it? Alright, we're gonna have to mute you. So who narrates the 1966 TV movie? It's kind of a cool fact. I quite like this fun fact. I only learned this recently. A very famous character actor from the old sort of Universal Monsters era. There's your clue. Question 2. In what year was the book published? In what year was the original How the Grinch Stole Christmas book published? Oh my god, you got it. Yep. I'll give you that. It was Boris Karloff. Yes. Answers in the chat, please. No Googling, and it's kind of an honour system, so you don't need to be the first person to answer. You just need to be someone who answers correctly, and you get a point. 1957 is correct. 1957. Well done. I instinctually wearing this jacket and the hat makes me want, like, and the beard, like, even it's the sensation of the beard, it immediately makes me want to go into my Santa voice, because I've been doing that every weekend in December. So my instinct is to go into the Santa voice. I'm trying not to go into it right now, because, like, you can't help but get into character when you're wearing the outfit. If you've got the book on hand, I'll let you off on that one. Honestly, we're not that picky here. It's just for fun. But if you do win the quiz, you get a little prize, which is a bit of digital art of you in the world. That you win. So, question 3. Who plays the Grinch in the 2000 live-action adaptation? So, who plays the Grinch in the 2000 live-action adaptation? And we've discussed this actor once before on this stream. It is Jim Carrey, of course it is. Question 4. Who directed this film adaptation? So who directed this film adaptation? It was not Scott Mosier. Yeah, for a rush job, this makeup doesn't actually look that bad from a distance. Could be a little bit lighter to match the beard, but this is the only green face paint I had. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you for all the support tonight. It's meant a lot. Yeah, it's been a rough few weeks, so this has meant a lot that you guys have come on and been so supportive. Right, who plays Cindy Lou Who in this adaptation? Who plays Cindy Lou Who in the live-action adaptation? Gonna mute you. It is Taylor Momsen, well done. Taylor Momsen, well done. Right. Right. What is the name? So I have an ex-girlfriend who I'm still on very good terms with who would kill me if I didn't make this a question. What is the name of the rock band that Taylor Momsen is now the front woman of? I would do this if there were no viewers. I want that to be very clear. But I am very glad you're here. It is Pretty Reckless. Well done. Pretty Reckless is correct. Question 7. Which studio made the 2018 animated adaptation of this story? Because people are nerds. That's the thing I learned very early on doing these quizzes is even if I don't know the answers, there will be people in the chat who do. So which movie studio made the 2018 animated adaptation? Illumination! The dreaded Illumination is back. It is depressing to think they made 2 Dr. Seuss adaptations. Question 8. Who plays the Grinch in this version? Who plays the Grinch in the Illumination version? They brought us the minions. They cannot be forgiven. No, so Jim Carrey was the live action one. Yes, Benedict Cumberbatch is the animated one. Yes, Benedict Cumberbatch. Okay, we're going to go back to the live-action movie now. Who narrates the 2000 live-action adaptation? Which famous actor narrates the 2000 live-action adaptation? Anthony Hopkins is correct. Oh, and this is our final question of the quiz tonight. Yes, final question of the quiz. And it's a really weird question. To endure the extensive prosthetic makeup, Jim Carrey had to be trained in what way? So to endure the elaborate and painful prosthetic makeup required to become the Grinch, Jim Carrey had to be trained in what way? This is a strange one. But I thought it was worth talking about. I'll go through the answers and we'll come back to that one. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, but it went pretty extreme with who was hired to help him endure the pain. So who narrates the 1966 TV special and therefore played the Grinch? That is Boris Karloff, who is famous for, like, The Mummy. Question 2. In what year was the book published? That is 1957. Question 3. Who plays the Grinch in the 2000 live-action adaptation? That is Jim Carrey. Question 4. Who directed this film adaptation? That is Ron Howard. Question 5. Who plays Cindy Lou Who? That is Taylor Momsen. Question 6. What is the name of the rock band she is now the front woman of? And that is Pretty Reckless. Which studio made the 2018 animated adaptation? That is Illumination. Who plays the Grinch in this version? That is Benedict Cumberbatch. Question 9. Who narrates the 2000 adaptation? That is Anthony Hopkins. And question 10. To endure the extensive prosthetic makeup, Jim Carrey had to be trained in what way? So he was trained by a CIA expert on torture in a way to calm his mind and so, like, that's how extreme that was. Wild. Yeah, you know, you were very close. In fact, I'll give you a point for that. But I think it's safe to say that by far and away the winner of today's quiz is going to be Poppy. So congratulations, Poppy. You absolutely crushed it tonight. So thank you so much. Nah, fuck off. It's my Christmas now. So absolutely well done, Poppy. If you would like a little piece of digital art to commemorate your win, please reach out on Instagram at Scottish Scooby Gang and we'll discuss. Yeah, absolutely, you absolutely crushed it. So we can discuss what story you'd like to be drawn into. So the best way to do it is send me a picture of, like, send me a picture of yourself, just a little picture of your face, just so I have a rough idea of what you look like. Again, I'm not a brilliant artist, but I will attempt to draw a little cartoony version of you. I might even try and somewhat imitate the Dr. Seuss art style when I do it. And I'll draw you in whatever Dr. Seuss story you'd like to be part of. I might even draw myself in one of my numerous costumes tonight. But thank you so much to everyone who's joined tonight. We've had some new viewers tonight. We've had some old favourites. So thank you so much to everyone who's joined. We do this every single Sunday. That's going to include next week. Next week is Christmas Eve. So we're going to be talking about Christmas movies. So I've got multiple costumes for that one as well. Hopefully no more extensive makeup ones for that one. I can't be bothered reaching over and muting that. I'm alright at the end. Thank you so much, guys. You can support us on, if you are in a financial position to do so, you can support me on Patreon at patreon.com/Scottish Scooby Gang. I need to rejig the Patreon perks a little bit. It used to be the fact that we did this as a trio, but due to certain things behind the scenes, I'm now doing it on my own, and I need to sort of update the Patreon just to reflect the nature of that. We did, like, for example, we had a Discord. That Discord has since been shut down by me. But if people want to support us and chat to us, if you support us on any financial level, you get added to a Discord. So I will set up that Discord at some point and add people back on who, you know, want to and deserve to be back on. But it'll just be, the reason I shut it down is because it was named after a running joke between the three of us. So I want to change the name and sort of make it more my thing again. These quizzes are... Yeah, I did too, but it became quite triggering for me the way it was, and who was on it became a sort of anxiety trigger after a while. So, yeah. It's been a rough mental health time, but your support means a hell of a lot. Yeah. No, it's been, so if you haven't watched before, it used to be the fact that I had a co-host and stuff like that. So in the new year, I would love to have co-hosts. I've had a few people reach out, guests we've had before. So Elise, who did like Wednesday Addams with us, and she's done a few other ones. She's reached out and said she wants to rejoin for a couple of quizzes. So I think she's going to do the musical theatre one with us and the Studio Ghibli one. Hopefully, not to make any promises, just depending on work schedules and things like that, but hopefully Connor can join again. I'd like to have David on, our sort of collaborator in Nigeria, so I'd love to have him on again, because he's got some amazing cosplays, and is always sending me new videos of new cosplays he's working on, so that's really exciting. If any of you are cosplayers and would like to join one of these live streams, feel free to reach out, ask for the... Yeah, no, it's going to be a good year, so I think that's going to be in January. So yeah, so join... Yeah, so the next two quizzes in December are Christmas movies on Christmas Eve and on New Year's Eve. We're not doing New Year's Eve anymore, we're doing New Year's Steve. So it's going to be, we're dressing up as famous Steves, both fictional and real, and we're going to talk about different Steves. So I'm going to be doing Steve Harrington and Captain America and maybe Steve Irwin. I thought that would be funny, get a big inflatable crocodile. So yes, I'll keep you updated whether or not the New Year's Eve one will be later or earlier in the day, but next week's one will be at 7 PM. And then, once December is royally fucked off, we're into the new year, I can discuss... Ooh, I'm rotating in my chair. Once that's royally fucked off, I'll announce the January themes, and I'll try and get on some co-hosts, some guests. But if you are cosplayers yourselves, oh no, I'm guessing you thought of the Stingray. But yeah, so if you're cosplayers and you'd like to join one of these quizzes, you can join digitally. The only things are, you gotta organize it with me ahead of schedule. Depending on the theme, you gotta have an appropriate cosplay, and you need, so this is more of a TikTok rule, but you need to have 1,000 followers or more. That's not a rule I've set, that's a rule TikTok has set. You can only live stream on TikTok if you've got 1,000 followers or more. But if you would like, if you can meet that, or you can get an account that does meet that, or if you're Edinburgh based and you'd like to, do it in person, that's also an option. But definitely reach out on Instagram and chat. Thank you so much, guys. I think that's enough rambling. I'm gonna go take photos. Oh, you're never too old to cosplay. Lots of cosplay. Always cosplay. I'm 27. I think cosplay is for everyone. Everyone should cosplay. But yeah, thank you so much. Look forward to another ambitious stream next week for Christmas Eve. Make the child cosplay. Force them to. Thanks, guys.